Good governance is the resultant effect of social contracts between the government and the governed. To achieve this, there must be mutual trust between those in authority and the people being led through adequate information, education, and orientation on the ideals of the society, which can be termed as the national interest that must be protected by all citizens. In essence, the actions and inactions of both government and the governed must be geared towards achieving the corporate goals of the nation. To achieve this, the enlightenment of the people is key, and the National Orientation Agency in Nigeria is the body saddled with the responsibility of communicating government policies, staying abreast of public opinions, and promoting patriotism, national unity, and development of the society. How well is the agency performing these responsibilities? And this will be our focus on today's edition of Stepping Up as we host the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Dr. Garba Abari. You are welcome. My name is Kemi Fakeye. Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Dr. Garba Abari, you're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Nigeria is on the march again. What's your observation on the electoral process so far?
Well, I think so far so good. If we are to go by all the assurances and what the state of preparedness by all critical stakeholders in the elections. The Independent National Electoral Commission has given all assurances as to its state of preparedness. The security agencies have given all assurances as to how they will keep the election day activities safe, secure, and encouraging citizens to come out and to not only come out but come out massively to vote according to their wishes, and that the environment will be secure, will be safe for everyone. All critical stakeholders, the politicians, as you can see, are also stepping up as your program is named to get to the finishing line. The citizens have gotten into the election mood. There is a lot of political ecstasy in the environment. The international community is focusing all its attentions on Nigeria, so is also, but more so Africa, and even in Africa, our sub-region is all focused on watching activities, political activities, preparatory to the elections, which is just a few days ago. I think so far so good.
Okay. National Orientation Agency is all over Nigeria, and you have been embarking on some programs to educate and sensitize Nigerians on how to go about the electoral process. How far so far?
So far, so good. But there are actually also causes for worry that a lot does not give one cause for cheer. Simply because from the horizon, what we can see from the field, what we read in the media, both conventional and social media, does not give much cause to cheer. Our politicians up to now do not seem to have learned much, neither have they forgotten much. And this is actually quite worrisome. In a country this big, a country this stable, democratically as it was since 1999, we're about 20 years now into this. We have held elections now. This is the 5th time we are running a democratic election. We should be seen to be making some incremental progress. And of course, the quality of our elections is improving by the day. Okay. In terms of the logistics, in terms of the preparations, in terms of delivery, in terms of. But what is not actually changing is the attitude of the average politician, who actually does not think of the larger picture. And this is what is accounting for all the very use of intemperate language, hate speech, the dissemination of fake news, and you can see even hate actions. These are all issues that are now cumulatively making the political atmosphere rather tenuous.
Okay.
And this is actually very worrisome. Now, it has a cumulative effect. The cumulative effect is, first and foremost, it frightens the citizen. The same citizen that you are asking for to come out and vote is the same kind of citizen that is being made to psychologically begin to ask, is it worth it? Can I go and risk
my life?
My life? Can I go and risk my health? Can I go and risk? Can I go and risk? Can I go and risk? Now, this is the flip side of all these things that we have been seeing from the actions of the politicians across the divide. And this is something worrisome. Now, what the National Orientation Agency is doing is to actually send out so many of the messages for peace.
Okay.
And first and foremost, also inculcate into the citizens the feeling that there has to be first a country. We all must have to keep the peace. We must be the ones that will now resist the politicians by deciding to imbibe the principle of wanting to keep the peace, to do unto others as we would want others to do unto us, to love our neighbor, to be law-abiding, and also to show the world that the country has actually come of age. And that, despite all the odds, there is a bigger picture. That is the picture of a Nigeria, democratic, peaceful, and harmonious.
Management of fake news is a major issue internationally, anyway, not only in Nigeria. How is the National Orientation Agency sensitizing the people, and especially as we prepare for the election?
In the first instance, we are not managers of news of any type, whether fake or real. But what we are doing is actually to use the doctrine of moral suasion.
Okay.
So that people will know what dangers there are in the dissemination of fake news, fake videos, photoshopped articles and pictures, especially when all of these are intended to cause disaffection. When they are intended to cause disaffection. Now, the nature of the social environment has made communication now so effective. We are living in the internet world, the world of simultaneity, and therefore whatever it is that we send out goes to destinations within seconds. Now, there is a danger. The danger is, unless we are able to also handle our communication strategies and the communication engagement and the dissemination of information alongside the dictates of the moment, we will not be able to strike the very delicate balance that exists between this world of simultaneity in which we live and the kind of information that we sell out. Now, to do this, you need to develop the human capital.
Okay.
In the past 1 year, been running sensitization and advocacy. I know I have run Facebook Live for 1 hour on hate speech, Twitter Live for 1 hour on hate speech and the fake news. I have had appearances on different platforms, media platforms on fake news. We have run sensitization through our local government assemblies on fake news. This is a campaign that has been going on as far back as 2016.
And are you seeing results?
Well, to a very large, at a point, yes, it came down significantly, especially when it reached its peak during the hardest farmers' clashes. Then there was actually a lull. Then immediately the political activities picked up. Then we also had an ascendancy. But I am assuring you, it will also come down.
But it's like it's one of the instruments that politicians are using.
That's what I'm saying. That is now the link between the tempo of political activities and the increase in the incidences of fake news but immediately after the elections will come down until another issue of national concern also comes up.
Okay, let's wait till then. Now we'll take a short break at this point. Viewer will be back in a moment to join us. Thank you. Good to know that you're still there watching Stepping Up, and the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Dr. Garba Abari, is still rubbing minds with us on how far so far as Nigeria goes into another election process, how well the National Orientation Agency has been able to sensitize the people on the need to ensure a peaceful election in the country. We have spoken so much. Well, the management of pre- and post-election issues is always a problem in any developing democracy. What's your take on Nigeria's case?
Very strenuous, because election, especially national elections, not only in Nigeria, but the world over, actually tasks your national resources. Therefore, you have to harness whatever that is there so that you know that you have a process that is stable, that will give credibility to all the players. And I want to tell you that it has not been easy, because what usually is called or be referred to as Nigerian factor, also adds to how strenuous and very stressful the management of the process is. Because whatever it is, no matter how only intention, you will find somebody out there that is inclined to giving it a meaning. It is either you are not in favor of this, or you are in favor of that, or you are not doing this. Even if there is no that what is being said is not correct, but simply for purposes of really wanting, not to necessarily hit up the polity, but maybe to make you sit up, and get you distracted, unless if you are the type that will keep your eyes on the ball consistently. So far, we as a National Orientation Agency are concerned about three things about our democracy.
Okay.
One, we are concerned about the stability and the peaceful conduct of the election, and that is why we plugged up a national campaign for peaceful election.
Yeah.
We are concerned about the incidences of vote selling and vote buying. We kicked off that campaign from the southeast, specifically from Imo State, not the national kickoff. Why did we do that?
That's pre-election issues.
That's free, and that was about 3 weeks ago, and that's actually about 5 weeks ago. Simply because Imo is one of the states with the highest number of political gubernatorial candidates, 72 in all. 72 people all wanting to be governors. We are worried about the incidences of vote buy and the selling. We are also equally concerned about the incidences of voided votes. Not that people do not know how to cast their vote correctly, the ballot and some print on the ballot paper, but we are worried this time that this is the very first time in the history of the country that we are going to have a ballot paper that will be as big as a newspaper page.
Yeah, because we have over 90 political parties.
In this respect, therefore, you have to make the people aware of what the party symbols are. Ask me as DG of the NOA, I can hardly recall 10 or 15 or even 20 of the party symbols. But it is our responsibility to go out with all the list of the political parties and their party symbols and tell people these are the symbols of the political party. On election day, try and know where it is located, the symbol is located, so that when the ballot paper is handed over to you, you don't get confused. That's one. Two, the incidences of vote incidentally also is being accentuated by existential matters, like one voter takes money from politician A, he takes money from politician B, the following day he takes money from politician C. And all the three put you on oath, as they are wont to do anyway. So on election day, so that he doesn't suffer any sanction on account of breaching the oath, he some prints in such a way that the boat does not benefit any of the three. You understand what I'm saying? So there is now first the response, the role of the person who wants to buy boat, the politician. And because it's not something new in our political history, but we are seeing the increase in that. Meaning, therefore, that there is something wrong with our democracy which we need to take a hard look at so that we address this issue that is threatening the credibility of our election and then the way and the manner in which leaders emerge through the political process. So there is first an appeal to the person who wants to buy the vote, not the politician who is really desperate. And then there is also on the other hand, the person who wants to sell the vote. Now, you have to actually make him see the nexus that exists between the kind of leadership that emerges when he sells the vote, a leadership that he cannot hold to account, a leadership that even if it does not perform, he cannot hold accountable. A leadership that he does not necessarily have to see until another round of elections. And then how all of this impacts on the kind of dividends that are being given as process of democracy. So this is now how do we do this? We have to do all of this, not only apart from what we are doing on the television screen, but most importantly on radio. But we see the one on television is more impactful because of the pictures that you see.
Yeah.
But we also do that in radio. We do that through jingles, through flyers, and through direct engagement at our local government assembly.
And how do we think Nigeria will manage post-election issue? Going by our past experience.
Very important. Very important. First and foremost, all of us as citizens must be the post-election managers.
Okay.
All of us as citizens must be the first election managers. And that is where the role of parents here comes into play. Let parents actually find a way of reining in their young people and their children and their words, not to be used as cannon fodder in the hands of politicians. Two, we have seen the willingness on the part of the politicians to sign the peace accord, to say they are going to keep the peace, to say they are going to conduct themselves in such a manner that they will not make inflammatory speeches that will inflame fashion and cause havoc. But these are the big players. They are not the ones that carry the guns and the cutlasses and the stones and the sticks to go about smashing innocent vehicles on the way, certain government buildings ablaze and cause mayhem. Those that are the ones that are doing this are out there in the field, and these are the people who are reaching out.
Yeah.
And we need to reach out to them through again the same platform that I had mentioned.
Okay.
Religious leaders,
and have you started doing this?
Civil society. Not only have we started, we have been old in it, very old in it.
Okay.
Because we have a campaign we tag cultivating a people of peace over 1 year ago.
Okay.
Which we kick-started from Benue State, specifically in Goma local government.
Okay.
And then,
what lesson do you think Nigeria has to learn from developed democracy?
What lesson can we develop or can we learn from our own democracy?
Okay. Let's start from there.
Because basically the African society is essentially a democratic society.
Yeah.
By whatever stretch of definition you give to it. So democracy could be a global phenomenon, but certain challenges and its benefits can be homespun. What are the homespun additions or subtractions are we making as we take the democratic principle as our way of life, as our way of governance, as our way of addressing development and other related issues?
Okay.
And of course there are many. One is actually to be fair and to be just. To be fair and to be just. A society that is not just is actually on the path to perpetuity.
Yeah.
A leadership that is not just is on the path to self-destruction.
Yeah.
A people that are not just are on the path to self-destruction. So, justice, equity, fair play.
Yeah.
That's one. Two, respect for institutions. Rule of law. That's another thing. People must be law-abiding, but whoever actually infringes of the law, suffers any infraction, must be sanctioned, and the sanctions accordingly, no matter how highly placed. The society that feels there are laws for the rich and the laws for the poor, laws for one category of people and another for category of people, such a society is on the path of self-destruction. These are the general practices. These are the general principles that characterize democracies all over the world. This must be the ones that we should also imbibe. But there are also certain things that we must have to include that will reflect our culture, our political culture. Okay. This kind of things, respect for choice, and of course the idea that people must be recruited through to a position of leadership through our own entrenched values. And in what are the entrenched values of the African society? Before you a leader, honesty, sincerity of purpose, consistency. Saying is as it is, no matter whose goat is being ox, whose ox is being goat. And so on and so forth. But the moment you allow people to occupy position of leadership on the basis of money, then definitely this is something and you call it free choice, as it is seen in the developed world. I think this is not what the kind of thing that we need to see in our own democracy. Or we should not be seeing this in our own democracy. Unfortunately, this is what we are seeing. So again, we must have to go back to question the essence of values in governance.
Okay, we must go back to respect the essence of these values in our democracy. That is the message for today. Dr. Garba Abari, it's been nice talking with you on Stepping Up this week. Well, to wrap up the program, just want you to your last advice to the people out there.
We have a very beautiful country. We have challenges as a country. No country doesn't have its own challenges. Many of these challenges have been brought as a result of our own inadequacies. But we must remain positive that things will change in this country. And since I am very hopeful, will change. But let every citizen be the same agent of change that we are craving for. This is the only way we can develop a society we all wish to see.
Thank you very much. That is the message. Be the agent of change that we want to see in the society. On this note, we shall be saying bye-bye on today's edition of Stepping Up. Thank you very much, sir, for being our guest. Thank you, viewer, for being there, watching the program. Join us again when we shall bring you another package. Bye for now.